brand new release by Wave Factory. This is not Waves Audio, right? This is Waves Factory. It's another company. So this equalizer, it's called just plain like that, Equalizer. The main idea, I thought it was a pretty creative and innovative. Well, maybe not innovative, because there are some others like Soothe 2 and Gullfoss that do this in a similar way, but this, I think it's a bit special in that sense, where I'm gonna mute here the output to show you also visually what this plugin does. Right, so this plugin has 32 bands that will automatically adjust the frequency spectrum. All of the frequencies throughout the frequency spectrum will be adjusted and balanced in terms of volume, right? So that it also, this plugin does it in real time with zero latency. So you can use this plugin live, for instance, and it will react in real time to the audio. It analyzes all of the samples, not a portion of the samples or something. So it analyzes everything in real time, and it creates small adjustments throughout the frequency spectrum, cutting and boosting so that the audio remains balanced. And I think it's a pretty cool plugin. We're gonna check out some audio examples in a moment. You have here some, you can see some cuts, right, below 0 decibels, and some boosts as well above 0 decibels, and it's doing it in real time, like I said, 3 times. I already said it, right? It's doing it like that. It's adjusting by at the same time the audio is passing through it. So always is doing this task, right? And this plugin also, well, the main control it's here. It's the amount control, where you choose how much the plugin is reacting to this, all of this balancing. So if you increase the amount, the boosts and cuts will be bigger, as you see, right? You double click and it resets by default, and you have here cut and boost knob. So with this you can decrease a bit the cuts or the boosts, right? And you can also solo with this delta mode. You can listen only these cuts or listen only the boosts, right? Pretty cool. Everything, all of the audio analyzed in a very smart way. You have the attack and release, so that you can also let the plugin know like how fast it reacts to the incoming signal and how slow or fast it recovers, right, with the release. Here from slower, faster, 10 milliseconds all the way up to 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second. And the same goes with the release. You have also mid-side functionality here. Here in the center at 50%, you are analyzing the stereo sound, normal sound. And if you put it all the way to the left, you're analyzing and hearing only the center part of your mix, and hear the sides all the way up to the right, right? So I'm gonna leave it by default, and in stereo mode you have tilt. You're gonna tilt the EQ curve to the right. You're gonna favor the highs, right? And to the left you're gonna favor the lows. You're tilting the EQ curve, okay? Then you have a mix control and output, and you have also an automatic gain compensation, which I think it's pretty cool, pretty clean and precise. And you have, of course, an input and output here. All right, so let's check out these drums, and just putting the plugin by default, it's already balancing, right? So let's listen to these drums. right? So it's like cleaning up some like resonances here, the highs and lows, and boosting some frequencies, also highs, lows, mids. Let's listen to the cuts, right? The developer doesn't mention this plugin as a dynamic EQ, but to me it seems that it has something of that, because it's using EQ but with movement. So pretty cool, like Gullfoss 2 or Sound Theory, Soothe 2 by Ugg Sound, which also are analyzing the audio and removing resonances and adding also good frequencies in real time. This plugin does it in 32 bands across the frequency spectrum. These are the boosts. Okay, before, after. After sounds like with less boxy frequencies here. A bit brighter, a bit cleaner, I think, and clearer as well. Okay, the tilt favoring the highs. The lows. You can use it in every element in your mix, whether it be individual track, groups, buses in the mix bus or master bus, and it will do great. Also, one functionality that it's very important to not overlook is with your mouse you can indicate the plugin like this curve or whatever you want to do it. And it's very important to mention that this is not an EQ curve, right? This only indicates the plugin that the algorithm doesn't react or react more in these dots that we draw here, right? So for instance, if you click in your keyboard any function command, for instance control in Windows or alt, you put every one of the 32 bands in zero and in flat, by default, right? So let's say I don't want the lows to be affected, these drums. I just make this and the plugin will not put attention to the lows. It'd be very useful in guitars, for instance, if I want this processing to be used in mid-range and highs, but I don't want the lows to be boosted, right? Let's check it out also in this bass guitar. Before, boosts. It makes, I think, the sound a bit cleaner, a bit clearer, and the frequencies do not jump all over the place, and that's the idea behind this plugin. Let's check it out also. This distorted guitars. Right? Making the sound brighter. the boosts, the cuts. This is a very good example of where I don't want this plugin to react to the lows. I don't want the lows to be boosted. As you see here, it's boosting some lows here in the super low end. So I want this to be ignored. Let's say from alright. There. So it's only adjusting here in the highs. Let's check out the cuts. Before. And for instance, if I just want to concentrate on the cuts, right, it's removing some like low end rumble or something here, low mid area mostly. So this is a great equalizer, new one by Waves Factory. It has a 40% off introductory price, and this is a very interesting and innovative plugin that I think can be a good alternative, cheaper alternative to Soothe 2 and also to Gullfoss. Alright, so as usual, I will leave you all of the applicable and downloadable links in the video description.